something I will finish, unlike The Last of Us 2, which I may or may not have not finished. Not rage quit like everyone else did. It's just I'm bad with stealth games, and Last of Us 2 was very much a stealth game, and also I have bigger issues with the game, but it's not to the extent that everybody else does. I think the narrative is good. I think it's just out of order. We bring up The Last of Us because, as we know, HBO is developing its version of a Last of Us series, and we've kind of been wondering, well, who's going to be our Joel and who's going to be our Ellie for a while. Now we know, and it's not who I thought, but I'm not mad in the slightest. Seems like we're getting Pedro Pascal as Joel himself, and Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones to be Ellie. So 2 former Game of Thrones alums in The Last of Us HBO series and another HBO series. Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times yes. I was kind of thinking that they might actually go with another HBO alum in Jaime Lannister, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, just because he looks great with the beard. He kind of looks already like Joel. That being said, Pedro Pascal is on the rise. He's a hot commodity right now. I'm so down with this. I only hope that he doesn't get typecast as old, grumpy old man that has to protect a smaller figure that's of importance to its universe. Because this does kind of feel a little bit like, oh, he's popular on Mandalorian. Oh, you say he's babysitting somebody? Put him in The Last of Us. Why not? It's the same thing. Pedro Pascal's a phenomenal actor. Let's not also overlook the young actress playing Ellie of Bella Ramsey. She was one of the best characters in the later seasons of Game of Thrones, which is kind of where the wheels started coming off, but through no fault of her own, she was one of the best things about those later seasons. She was fantastic. I'm just really, really excited for The Last of Us. It's I think, video game series that lends itself well to a series or a movie. I think a series more so than a movie. I'm really looking forward to this. I do wonder, however, though, if this will delineate away from what happens in the games, because without dipping too much into spoilers for those that haven't gotten around to the second one, I don't know if the show was made aware of the events of the second one before they announced the show, because there's a pretty definitive narrative ending for certain characters, and I'm just going, well, that sucks. But maybe the show is a way to write that, because Last of Us is very controversial among fans regarding its narrative decisions with certain characters. I agree to a certain extent. I disagree with to a certain extent. I would like to see the time between Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2, because even playing the second Last of Us, it felt like there was a game missing and like a time period missing. But you slap Last of Us on anything and I'll be there in a heartbeat, because it was actually my first PS4 game ever. It came with the console when I first bought it. But it's another one of those ones that I have a connection to because of you, Michael.
Well, I'll say this. I followed this particular story like once it came out, because this video game like took at least the PSN world by storm, because I didn't have a PlayStation, I had an Xbox, and I didn't have enough money. So what I did is I watched like the Last of Us movie
Mm-hmm.
online, like on YouTube, and my friend and I still remember, Nate, where I was standing. I was watching, or I was house sitting or helping my buddy house sit for a teacher we had in high school who was on vacation, and we went over and I said, hey, Tommy, have you seen this? And he goes, no. It's like, buddy, we got to watch the intro to this. It just dropped. It's blowing up. It's going viral. This is a newer term now. And we watched the intro to where we watched the intro of The Last of Us, where it actually gives you the title card of the video game.
And
So
and the death of Sarah.
yeah, and it fades to black as he's crying, because and then it goes, The Last of Us. And we looked at each other and we were like, what? It was like taking, I mean, all video games up to that point had good stories, but it was so cinematic and done so well that I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I actually watched the entire Last of Us like movie on YouTube. That's like an 8-hour thing that you can watch. And then I followed the development of the second game quite closely. and then the development of the anger and hilarity that was the Mass Effect fan base afterwards. I don't have the games and never played them, but it was interesting to watch how people just lost their ever living minds.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so that being said, what's coming here? I don't really know anything about the actress at all, and I don't think a whole lot of people do. But Pedro Pascal, as one of our friends has always said, it's never a mistake to add talent. I'm just curious that you've said this before, that there are certain video games that are best told in a TV series. Is it kind of odd that they're going to try to tell this kind of scope and scale in a movie instead of a TV show?
This is a TV show.
It is a TV show.
Yes,
Well,
this is a TV show.
I read something today about it being a movie. Why did I read that? That's my fault. 100% my fault. Well, guess what? See, you're still right, Nate. Now, I'm curious. Was I the one who talked to you about this then?
Yes, you're the one that showed me in college that opening
Oh,
scene.
oh, okay. Yeah. And I'm so sorry that I can't remember. Did you have the similar reaction that I did initially, was just like utter shock?
I think it was at that time that like it was around to say it was weird. I remember in college there were certain videos that really stuck in my mind of there was reaction videos for people watching the beginning of Last of Us, as well as reaction videos for like not Five Nights at Freddy's, but like those type of jump games. So I remember watching reactions for both of those because they're so radically different. Dude, I still remember watching that opening for the first time Last of Us, just going, is this a game or is this a new like animated series or what? And
Mm-hmm.
it's also fun to see people that haven't seen The Last of Us watch the opening
Mm-hmm.
scene because they are just
Oh
like,
my
oh, it's
gosh.
you want me to watch the opening of a video game? And then within 5 minutes they're like locked in, and by the end of it they don't say anything. Like Heather had seen me play it a little bit, but then before the second one came out, I was like, I need to go back and play the first one. It's been a while. And she had watched me play all four Uncharted, so she was familiar with Naughty Dog. But I was like, Last of Us is different. It's a masterpiece. But I didn't know if she would like it or not because it's definitely more bleak than Uncharted is. She was locked in with Last of Us. Like, the narrative is so captivating and the characters are so well written and fleshed out. It's just hard not to get sucked into that. And I think looking at the creative team for this, there's a lot of cause for optimism here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus, with HBO, you know that they're going to be willing to embrace more hardcore aspects that are presented in the narrative, like, say, compared to like an AMC with The Walking Dead. That still kind of has a limit. Whereas HBO, there really is no limit there. Like, The Last of Us is not a pleasant world to live in. Joel, as much as he's one of my favorite video game characters ever because he's one of the most realized characters ever, he'll tell you he's not really a good person. And I think having that type of a flawed character could be really, really interesting, especially having the dynamic of Ellie. Um, I'm just really, really amped for this. And this coupled with some other future projects that we've got coming down the pike when it comes to video games, I think will be really big factors in turning the tide of I think, are on the precipice of a new age when it comes to video game adaptations, both in TV and movies, for the better. Long gone are our Super Mario Brothers. Welcome, Last of Us, Uncharted, maybe Resident Evil, I'm not sure. Just, yes, it was nice to finally get some forward momentum on this because it felt like the car that is Last of Us had stalled for a bit, and just getting this
Mm-hmm.
casting means, okay, production should be around the corner on this sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has been in production a while, and a lot of it has been because of the success of the game. It's just that when it comes to these types of stories, we've seen the dam kind of break now that the medium probably for video games are not movies. It's TV shows, and with the advent of something like The Mandalorian, where you can use like stagecraft technology, you don't have to shoot on location. There's cheaper and better ways to do things to pull off shots and quote unquote CGI or photorealistic backgrounds that don't take thousands of man hours and millions of dollars. And I think that will certainly help this genre, especially like you had said, if you surround it with a very talented creative team, there's no reason why they shouldn't work. and they're now given this opportunity, much like for a lot of people, The Dark Knight, Iron Man, their first. I mean, you want to throw Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in there, but that's a totally different league and feel. It's where like superhero movies were really trying to take themselves seriously in a way. Um, it takes a while. There's a reason why we didn't get like Infinity War 40 years ago. So